Hey there, welcome to Nina's world. Nina is getting ready for bed and she has a fun idea. I want to have a bath with my friends, she says. So she takes off her boots and then she runs to her phone. She calls up her best friend Lee. What are you doing tonight? Asks Lee. I'm having a bath party, says Nina. Oh, I would love to come over and have a bath with you, says Lee. Okay, come over in 5 minutes. And Nina hangs up the phone. Then she runs to her toy chest, opens it up and grabs a rubber ducky. She puts it on her bed, and she can't wait for her friends to get there. In just a few minutes, Lee comes swimming down the sidewalk. She knocks on the door and Nina opens it right up. Come inside, she says. Lee comes in and she sees the rubber ducky. Wow, you really do have a bath party, she says. Yeah, I've got some more toys in here that I want to show you, says Nina. They go into Nina's bathroom together. It has a white tub and a blue, red and green tiled wall. Nina turns on the water and soon it's warm enough for her and her friends to enjoy. They take off their clothes and they get into the warm water. Nina takes her rubber ducky and she puts it in the bath with her. Let's have fun, she says. Suddenly, Nina remembers something. Oh no, I almost forgot, she says. What's that? Asks Lee. Well, I have one more friend I want to invite to our bath party, says Nina. She gets out of the tub and she goes to her toy chest. She looks inside and she pulls out a little mermaid doll. This is Coraline, says Nina. She's a mermaid doll that I love to play with, she says. Hi Coraline, says Lee. I've never seen a real mermaid before, she says. Me neither, says Nina. But we're gonna have a bath party anyway, she says. Yay, says Coraline. They all get back into the tub. Nina, Lee and Coraline all wash each other's hair. Ooh, this is so much fun, says Nina. I wish this night would never end, says Lee. But suddenly the water starts to turn cold. Oh no, says Nina. The water's getting cold, she says. We have to get out, says Lee. Just then, they hear someone knocking at the door. Who could that be? Asks Coraline. It's probably just my mom, says Nina. She probably wants to know why the water is running, she says. Oh well, let's get changed, says Lee. Nina turns off the water and she helps Coraline dry herself. Do you want to stay in my room while my mom comes in here? Asks Nina. Sure, says Coraline. Thanks, says Nina. Then she gets dressed and she leaves the door open. Her mom comes in and she's surprised to see two friends in there. Oh hello, she says. Hi, says Lee. Can I have a bathrobe, please? She asks. Of course, says Nina's mom. I think I need one too, says Coraline. Coming right up, says Nina's mom. She hands them both bathrobes and then she closes the door. Now what are we gonna do until our bathrobes dry? Asks Lee. Well, I have an idea, says Nina. She gets her stuffed elephant and she gives it to her mom. Mom, can you watch Ella for me? I'm going to get a snack, she says. Sure thing, honey, says Nina's mom. Nina runs out of the room and she goes downstairs. She opens up the fridge and she looks inside. What should I get? She says. First she grabs a bag of marshmallows. Then she grabs some chocolate pudding. And lastly, she grabs a big bag of goldfish crackers. She takes these snacks back to her room and she sits on her bed. Lee, Coraline and Nina start eating the goldfish crackers. These are so good, says Lee. I agree, says Coraline. You guys want a marshmallow? Asks Nina. Sure, says Lee and Coraline. They all roast their marshmallows over a candle. Then they dip their marshmallows in chocolate pudding. This tastes delicious, says Coraline. I brought extra pudding, says Nina. Great, says Lee. I'm still hungry. After they finish all of the snacks, Nina blows out the candle. I wish we had more snacks, says Lee. Me too, says Coraline. But at least our bathrobes are dry, says Nina. Suddenly, Nina's mom walks in. Does anyone want to hear a bedtime story? She asks. Yes, say Lee and Coraline. Okay, how about this one? Nina's mom gets comfortable on Nina's bed and she opens up a book. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs who lived in a house made of straw, she began. Oh, I love this story, says Coraline. Me too, says Lee. Nina's mom continues reading. One day, a big bad wolf came along and he started blowing down their house of straw. The three little pigs ran away and they ran as fast as they could, she said. Oh, the wolf is gonna catch them, says Lee. He might, says Nina's mom. But first he had to cross a river. The three little pigs took a shortcut through the forest. And when they stopped to take a rest, they saw a cozy little house made of bricks. They knocked on the door and a friendly pig opened it. Hello, said one of the little pigs. Hi, come on in, said the friendly pig. My name is Priscilla and I live in this house by myself. It's nice to meet you, Priscilla. Our names are Peter, Paul and Penelope. And we need somewhere to stay because a big bad wolf is trying to blow our house down. Well, you can stay here as long as you like, said Priscilla. Thanks, Priscilla, said the three little pigs. Then they all went inside. That was a great story, says Coraline. Me too, says Lee. I love happy endings, says Nina. Me too, says Nina's mom. Well, it's getting late and I have to get home, says Lee. Okay, bye, says Nina. Bye, says Lee. Then she runs home. Coraline yawns. I'm getting tired, she says. Me too, says Nina. Let's get changed, she says. Nina and Coraline change into their pajamas. Night, Coraline, says Nina. Night, Nina, says Coraline. Then Coraline goes to sleep. Nina gets up the next morning, and she wakes up her little mermaid doll. Wake up, Coraline, she says. It's time to have another bath. Yay, says Coraline. Nina runs to her window and she looks outside. It's raining, she says. I hope that doesn't ruin our bath party, she says. Suddenly, she has an idea. I know what we're gonna do, she says. What's that? Asks Coraline. Let's have an indoor picnic, says Nina. That sounds like fun, says Coraline. Nina gets a blanket and she lays it down on the floor. Then she gets her toy chest and she opens it up. She takes out her rubber ducky and she puts it on top of the blanket. This is gonna be so much fun, says Nina. I agree, says Coraline. Just then, Nina's mom walks in. What are you two doing? She asks. We're pretending to have a bath party, says Nina. Oh, I thought you girls were gonna have a bath, says Nina's mom. We were, but it's raining outside and I didn't want our rubber ducky to get wet, says Nina. Oh, I understand, says Nina's mom. Well, if you're done playing with your toys, you two can help me clean up the kitchen, she says. Okay, say Nina and Coraline. After they clean up the kitchen, Nina and Coraline go back to Nina's room. Let's keep playing, says Nina. Okay, says Coraline. Nina takes out her tea set and she puts it on top of the blanket. Let's pretend we're having tea, she says. I would like some tea with my crumpets, please, says Coraline. Coming right up, says Nina. She pretends to pour tea for her little mermaid friend. This tea is delicious, says Coraline. Glad you like it, says Nina. For a while, Nina and her friends have fun playing with her toys. But soon it's time for Coraline to head home. I had such a wonderful time today, Nina, she says. Me too, says Nina. Well, bye, says Nina. Bye, says Coraline. As Coraline swims away, Nina watches her go. I'm so glad I have a friend like her, she says. She's the best, she says. Just then, Lee comes swimming up to Nina's house. Hi, Lee, says Nina. Hi, Nina, says Lee. Wanna come over and play with my Polly Pocket set? She asks. Sure, says Nina. Then they run off to Lee's house together. And now we're going to hear a song. It's called Best Friends. Nina and Lee are walking down the street together. They're holding hands and they're singing a song. We're best friends, they sing. We love to laugh and play. We're best friends, they sing. We're always happy all the way. We're best friends, they sing. Through thick and thin, we will always be friends. Best friends forever, they sing. Now back to the cartoon. Nina and Lee arrive at Lee's house. It's a beautiful house with pink walls. Thanks for coming over, Lee, says Nina. No problem, Nina, says Lee. Now they're gonna play with Lee's Polly Pocket toys. Ooh, I like this one, says Nina. Me too, says Lee. They put the Polly Pocket family into the camper. Let's pretend we're going on an adventure, says Lee. Okay, says Nina. They push the camper down the sidewalk. We're gonna go camping in the woods, says Lee. Great, says Nina. I hope we see some bears, she says. Me too, says Lee. They reach the woods and they start walking on a path. Look, a treehouse, says Nina. Let's go check it out, says Lee. They walk up to the treehouse and they knock on the door. Hello, says Lee. Hi, Lee and Nina, says a girl named Gabby. I'm Gabby, she says. Wanna come inside? Sure, say Nina and Lee. They climb up the ladder and they go inside the treehouse. This is so cool, says Nina. I want to have a treehouse, she says. Me too, says Lee. They spend the rest of the afternoon playing with Gabby. I had such a wonderful time today, says Nina. Me too, says Lee. Well, bye, says Lee. Bye, says Nina. Then Nina runs home. When she gets home, she thinks about her friends. I'm so glad I have friends like Lee and Coraline. She says, they're the best. She says, the end.